Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Collections and Connections. I'm excited to be here with you. I am your host, Lachelle Atkins, also known as America's Supermom. So I'm excited to be here today. I am so excited about books. So that's what I'm going to be diving into today, collections and connections. If you are joining me for the first time, thank you so much for joining the conversation. This is a quick conversation on some books that really have helped me to move forward with positivity, changing my mindset, and being a better version of myself. So I am excited to be here and take a little bit of that journey with you. I want to give a special shout out to some people that are in my network that have been supporting me so much with these early morning broadcasts. So I want to give a shout out to the Hounds of Business. They have definitely been supportive, as well as Mary Baker. Just the comments, the engagement, I really appreciate it, and it does not go unnoticed. So, a little bit about me. My name is America's Supermom, and that is because my husband and I have 15 children, and we still have 10 that live at home. So it can be a little chaotic and crazy because, just the struggle with attention and, just drama. I have 9 daughters and 6 sons. So the girls really, they have a lot of ups and downs that they go through just with being a girl. So you can only imagine. But that is the backdrop of my brand. But I'm also a vitality coach, and I help people navigate through the chaos of overwhelm, burnout, depression, and transform that into clarity and confidence with a smile. I overcame my own journey of 13 years of depression and 3 hospitalizations. And now I'm passionate about sharing my story, strategies, and any tips that I can provide for other people to help them on their journey. I believe that we all don't have to go through depression in order to be the best version of ourselves. I can listen to the stories of people who have been in jail to realize I don't have to go there to experience that type of growth, right? So I think a lot of times we just think that it's inevitable. It's just a part of life. Oh, as a mom, it's just normal to be overwhelmed. But, we prepare for a lot of things ahead of time, like having a spare tire in your car in case you get a flat, having a first aid kit, in the event of an emergency. So, why can't we be prepared to circumvent a lot of these problems before they even get started? Well, for me, part of that journey of recovery from 13 years of depression and 3 hospitalizations was being able to change my mindset. I have always been an avid reader. I was an only child. So even though I have 15, I started out on my journey being alone, not having any siblings. And so I did a lot of reading, a lot of imagination, so to speak, being able to read and see things from different perspectives and angles. And it was just something I really thrived on. And so that was one of the things that really helped pull me out of my situation and help me unlearn a lot of things that just didn't serve me. So today, I'm going to dive into 3 different books. A lot of these are always around business. I enjoy uh, business. Marketing was what I got my degree in. Met my husband at Indiana University. I was a business major through the School of Business. And so that is really the thing that I'm passionate about, in addition to being able to serve in capacities of speaking and things like that. So I am going to get into 3 books. So we're going to go ahead and get started because it's like 30 minutes goes by so quick and I'm the only one talking. All right, so the first book is 7 Keys to Disney Success Inside the Magic Kingdom. Okay. So this is the first one. So just going to read a little excerpt from each book and share a few thoughts, and then we're out of here. Okay. So the first thing that I want to talk about is this is lesson 6, and it's reward, recognize, and celebrate. Okay. So we're going to start with the letter that Disney received about someone who came to the park. Dear Disney, the 4 members of our family recently spent a delightful vacation at the Magic Kingdom, but one event made our visit seem truly magical. We got to the front of the line at Space Mountain only to find that our little Gloria couldn't take her ice cream cone on the ride. Now, we should have realized this up front, but we were so excited to be there that we just weren't thinking. Gloria broke into tears, and we were all in a quandary about what to do. Then one of the staff members, Murphy, came over, bent down, and told Gloria that she would hold her ice cream for her and give it to her when she finished the ride. Gloria said, "Promise?" Then she gave Murphy her ice cream, and she thoroughly enjoyed the ride. Sure enough, as we walked out of the exit, there was Gloria's new friend with her ice cream cone. Now, you and I both know what happened because we know that an ice cream cone won't last 20 minutes on a summer afternoon in Florida. Murphy knew what time we would exit. She went to the nearest stand and bought a brand new ice cream cone 30 seconds before we walked out the exit. Gloria said, "Thank you," but I'm sure she thought it was the same ice cream cone. We know that someone went out of their way to make our visit special. Thanks so much for going above and beyond. Your fan, Carmen Riviera. Still in the role of a supervisor, Mort lowered this copy of this invisible letter and addressed the group as though they were cast members. This is a great example of exceptional guest service. Murphy not only noticed the problem, but came up with a creative solution. People like Carmen save their money to come here with their families, and each of us plays an important role in making it a magical experience for them. A special thanks to Murphy. Okay, then I'm going to read on. Um, so they ask, is this recognition, reward, or celebration? And so they said that it's a combination of recognition and celebration, but mostly recognition. And so the supervisor says the desire to be appreciated is one of the deepest of human yearnings. So Murphy had some of that need met by the letter. The additional recognition in front of other cast members also acknowledged Murphy's role as a valuable member of the team. A lot of organizations go through the motions of recognizing people, but only a few make it part of a system, the only way to make sure it happens. So I think this is important to realize the systems, right? So when we think about the recognition, people yearn for that. So, what lesson can we take from this little excerpt about letters? One, the letter could have just been written and, oh, that was just a nice letter, whoever received it, and that's the end of it. But they went the extra mile to talk to the cast members, which, that's what they call their staff, right? Because it's about an experience, right? They are a cast of a show that they are setting every day in order to make everything work out. Now, if you think about shows, they always have happy endings for the most part, right? Especially when we're dealing with children, there's always a happy ending. So being in that state of mind with the work that you do is how you can really think very easily about what a solution would be that would make everybody happy. And you can just go there and be in that moment. And it can go so much further, so much so that this person later on, after they returned home, sent a letter and of gratitude and appreciation. Now, it takes a lot of time to actually sit down and write a letter. There's some inspiration behind that for people to do that. So a lot of us talk about, oh my gosh, can you give me a review or a recommendation? But are you really inspiring people to sit down and take that extra step, right? to really acknowledge what place someone has uh, changed in your life or how they have impacted you in some way. It takes a lot of work. I know for myself, you go on vacation, you get back, you're trying to go through washing your laundry, unpacking everything. I don't know. There's been times in the past where it seems like I lived out of my suitcase once I got home, right? It's just because we had a thing when we would go on vacation, we would take so many clothes and then we would wash them wherever we were, whether it's at the hotel or I would actually go to a laundromat and wash clothes so that way we can minimize the things that we had to pack. So usually before we would leave, everything would get washed and I would be packing clean clothes so that I didn't have to worry about the laundry when I got back home. But then I'm not unpacking everything and I'm living out of the suitcase, right? So but this is what's going on. You're living out of the suitcase. Are you really thinking about sitting down, writing a letter? Usually not, right? But there is something about inspiring people that you help them to go that extra mile and realize what impact you have actually made in their life. And so having a system of recognizing the people that write in or just your staff in general, right? So we can mimic a lot of this when it comes to notifications. So if you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, or any other platform that allows you to know when people's birthdays are, when you have a new follower, when somebody comments, taking that time to go throughout your profiles and systematizing responding back to them because it takes a lot of time to break the scroll, one to watch whatever it is that you are putting out there, but then another inspirational moment to stop and to write a comment, right? Another inspiration to sometimes make a comment and share the video, right? So creating a system of recognizing people when they do that. Okay, so the next book is When, The Scientific Secrets of Perfect Timing. All right. So, the passage that I want to read here, the chapter is Time Hacker's Handbook. Okay, so this is chapter 2. Okay, so he says, make a break list. You probably have a to-do list. Now it's time to create a break list. Give it equal attention and treat it with equal respect. Each day, alongside your list of tasks to complete, meetings to attend, and deadlines to hit, make a list of the breaks you're going to take. Start by trying 3 breaks per day. List when you're going to take those breaks, how long you're going to last, and what you're going to do in each. Even better, put the breaks into your phone or computer calendar so one of those annoying pings will remind you. Remember, what gets scheduled gets done. Then he talks about how to take a perfect nap. As I explained, I've discovered the errors in my napping ways and I've learned the secrets of a perfect nap. Just follow these 5 steps. Find your afternoon trough time. The Mayo Clinic says that the best time for a nap is between 2 and 3 p.m. But if you want to be more precise, take a week to chart your afternoon mood and energy levels, and you'll likely see a consistent block of time when things begin to go south, which many people which for many people is about 7 hours after waking. This is your optimal nap time. Create a peaceful environment. Turn off your phone notifications. For some people, he says, down a cup of coffee. The most efficient nap is a nappuccino. The caffeine won't fully engage in your bloodstream for about 25 minutes, so drink up right before you lay down. He says if you're not a coffee drinker, search online for another alternative drink that provides about 200 milligrams of caffeine. But if you don't drink coffee, avoid that. Set a timer on your phone for 25 minutes. He says if you nap more than a half an hour, sleep inertia takes over and you need extra time to recover. If you nap less than 5 minutes, you don't get much benefit. But naps between 10 and 20 minutes measurably boost alertness and mental function and don't leave you feeling sleepier than you were before. Since it takes most people about 7 minutes to nod off, the 25-minute countdown clock is ideal. And of course, when you wake up, the caffeine is beginning to kick in. And then he says, repeat this consistently. So I love this because, we have to be intentional with our time, intentional with taking a break, right? A lot of us talk about it, but if it's not on the calendar, usually it doesn't get done. So this really was a great passage for me to run into because doing this waking up series at 5 a.m. has definitely been beneficial for me. So I'm just doing it Monday through Friday. And my intention is creating content for my YouTube channel. That's one thing, right? The other thing is that I desire to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So every day I've been getting up at 4:45, just 15 minutes before I do this broadcast. But it's on the journey to 4 a.m. because 4 a.m. allows me to get up early. And then my goal is to have my whole day done by 11 a.m. So if the what the author says, by 11 it's time for me to take a nap. I could take a quick nap and then I could wake up and still have the rest of the day. If I have a few meetings outside of that are later in the evening or afternoon, but I can have my time for family and everything else that I have to do around the house and things like that. So that is my goal, is to get up at 4 a.m. to get everything I need to do for my job and work, and then have occasional meetings in the afternoon, but I'm done with my day. So that is the goal. And one way to get to your goal is to take baby steps, right? So now I'm getting up at 4:45 and I'm doing it with accountability. So having these broadcasts are not just about, oh my gosh, I want to, do this or do that. It's about me holding myself accountable, but doing it publicly so that I can continue to be consistent. So I want to talk about that just really quick, because a lot of times we'll have a goal, but we do not attach it to accountability, right? And so if we're not accountable to people, that's the first thing that we give up. So if I say, well, I think I want to drink more water, right? And I say that to myself, but then I'm always pouring myself a cup of coffee or drinking some tea, iced tea or lemonade, and I'm not drinking water. If I don't share that with anybody, nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to say, I thought you were drinking more water. Or better yet, some people will start providing water for you. You know, one of the things my kids did for me for Mother's Day were got me these Frappuccinos, the Starbucks Frappuccino, the little things in the jar. I got 2 packs of those. But just think, if I said, well, I want to drink more water, they might have gave me water, right? So people love to support you in what you're doing, but if you don't tell them what you're doing, they're not going to know to support you. So I want to say good morning to you, Dom. Hey, Dom, you're up pretty early. But it's a great time to get up. It's quiet, but actually, to be honest, it's a little noisy here right now. I have a son who's 13 who is up playing the video game. So I tell you, these kids, they can get up early or stay up late for video games, but if it involves doing some work, they're nowhere around. All right, so the last book is A Whole New Mind: Why Right Brain why why right brainers will rule the future. Okay. So this is the last one. And so this segment that I'm reading here is about design, right? So I love this because he's talking about design in this section, but just like people design architecture, right? They design buildings, or they design how they're going to set up their rooms or closets, or, different things like this, how they're going to design their meal plan. You can design how you're going to start your day, how you're going to live your life. And so he's talking about some different things, but if you take that concept to understand that you have the power to design your own day, right? To design your own life. So he says, keep a design notebook. Buy a small notebook and begin carrying it with you wherever you go. When you see great design, make a note of it. Example, he noted a hot spot silicone trivet, a thin, flexible square that doubles as a pot holder, triples as a jar opener, and looks cool. So he wrote that in his book. Do the same for flawed design. Example, the hazard light button in my car, which is so close to the gear shift that I often turn on hazards when I put the car in park. I understand that. Before long, you'll be looking at graphics, interiors, environments, and much more with greater acuity. And you'll understand in a deeper way how design decisions shape our everyday lives. Be sure to include the design of experiences as well. Buying a cup of coffee, taking a trip on an airplane, going to an emergency room. If you're not a note taker, carry around a small digital camera or a camera cell phone instead and snap photos of good and bad design. So he says, channel your annoyance. Choose a household item that annoys you in a way. Go by yourself to a cafe with pen and paper, but without a book and without a newspaper. And for the duration of your cup of coffee, think about improving the poorly designed item. Send the idea or sketch as it is to the manufacturer of your annoying household item. You never know what might come of it. So that happened to somebody. He put a note here. But this is so important. I mean, what he talked about, seeing an annoyance now and then take a note of it. So often we have things that we don't like and we just keep on repeating the same cycle over and over again. We don't take note of why it's annoying, how we can make it better, and making some changes, right? So here he's talking about maybe a household item, but think about situations in your life. Have you ever really taken note of some things that really are annoying you or not working out in your favor and really diagnosing why? What are some things you can do to change it? So, quick story. When I first got out of the hospital for the last time, that's when I really dove into starting my own coaching program. And I created the pillars because I really was channeling and thinking about what I did for myself in order for me to have my own coaching program. But during that time, I got with a coach, business coach through LinkedIn. So she's from the UK. This is how I started my whole business that I have today, in the name America's Supermom. Well, anyway, I met her on LinkedIn. We had a call, discovery call, told her about what I was doing, what I wanted to do. And so she says, okay, well, my sessions are $1,000. And I said, oh, okay, that's good. And she said, so you have to pay up front. When you pay, that reserves the time. And so that's how I do business. That's just how it is, and these are some of the people that I work with and everything. And so I really took to the conversation and enjoyed her energy and everything. So I went and got a part-time job. So I scheduled the appointment. Well, I had in my mind that I was going to have it, I think, 6 weeks down the road. So I got a part-time job as a waitress, saved the money to pay for the coaching session. And that coaching session, people are like, oh my gosh, $1,000 for somebody to coach you on what it is that you want to do for your business. Don't you already know? But that was the most valuable money that I have spent because I'm still using the brand today and I'm continuing to grow into it. But the power of masterminding is priceless because um, you cannot minimize co creation. For somebody to be invested and spending the time to help you really hash out what are some things that you could do with your brand, how you can grow, what the name should be, all these things I was able to focus on and really dive into. So when you think about what this passage, what he's saying is, you think about the annoyance or you think about what it is you want to do, but have you ever really just sat down and thought about it and mapped it out without any distractions? A lot of times we don't do that. So to have somebody invested in my success for that session, it was priceless. And I still have things on that list that I haven't even got to, because it's about the questions that you ask that allow you to dive into it. So, case in point, I met somebody offline yesterday that we have connected online. So we've connected online. We had a Zoom call. She was on my panel. So shout out to J.R. Span Davis. So anyway, she was in town. We both went to an event and didn't see each other. However, I sent her a message during the time that she was here, just, like I weekly message like I do on LinkedIn, and sent her a photograph. And she was like, oh my gosh, I was there too. So because of that, we knew that we were in the same town for a period of time. So we met for breakfast yesterday. Well, this was the result of that conversation. We masterminded a whole year worth of topics for her business. So this was just a breakfast. So you can only imagine, if you're masterminding, what you can come up with, what your focus intention is for being a better version of yourself, right? So you have to decide that you want to create these ideas, and they just don't happen on their own. You have to be engaged. You have to think about how you're going to do it. So that is my spill on that. But I want to impress the whole concept of understanding about systems. Systems are important. Systems for follow up, systems for lead generation, systems for, things around your house, whether it's a chore system, whether it's a system for I don't know, meal prep, right? Systems are the things that stand the test of time. They help you get out of your emotion and help you just be strategic about making sure that you're going to show up for yourself, show up for others. Also, the fact of holding yourself accountable, right? Holding yourself accountable um, for the things that you want to have done. And so if you can't hold yourself accountable, which many of us don't, right? Because we're just like, well, I know I said that. We have this conversation with ourselves. Yeah, I know I said that, but I'm going to do that tomorrow, right? Yeah, it's not that big of a deal if I just skip this one day. Nobody knows. But the more you put it out there and you put it as a screensaver, you write it down before you go to bed. What's something you're going to do towards your goal to hold yourself accountable every day? The easier it gets. It's not always easy to take those steps, right? And sometimes doors close on your journey and you're like, is this really the direction I should be going? But if you keep on moving one step at a time and just stay focused, because things are going to happen. It's not an isolated incident. It's just all about creating stamina, right? Wherever there's conflict is or resistance, there's a growth, right? So you think about it. If it's easy to work out, more people would be doing it. But there's that resistance. But that great resistance leads to a great reward, right? Because you have to have resistance for muscle growth. You have to have resistance for a lot of growth, right? It has to be that challenge in order for you to get to the other side. So I want to encourage everybody to think about, how you want to move forward in some of the things that are going to help you to be a better version of yourself. And you can start with some books, podcasts, and connecting with people that resonate with your message. We minimize the value of conversations, but simply having a conversation with people that are doing what you want to do can help you to make some realistic goals, right? So if I am with someone who, if I want to be a dental hygienist, but I'm talking to eye doctors or I'm talking to people who own gas stations that may not help me with my desire to be a dental hygienist. I should talk to a dentist or a dental hygienist so that they can give me some pointers and some mindset shifts that can help me accomplish that goal that I want to accomplish. So oftentimes we talk to the wrong people. They mean well, but we just talk to the wrong people. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Uh, I appreciate all the support that you are giving me. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. So have a great day.